morning. Today is Wednesday, 7th February 2018. I'm Ebony Brandon. These are this morning's top stories. Nationally, Shaquille Pemberton's cause of death has been revised to undetermined. Internationally, the search is on for survivors following a massive earthquake in Taiwan. And in sport, the Russians' appeal against their Pyeongchang Olympic exclusion has been adjourned. We also have today's weather forecast and Carib update. Now for a look at the news developments in detail. Some of the unanswered questions surrounding Shaquille Pemberton's death may soon be answered following the results of a new forensic test. Last week, police said 23-year-old Pemberton's death had been due to natural causes following an autopsy carried out by forensic pathologist Dr. Valery Alexandrov. With the information available at the time, Dr. Alexandrov ruled that the young man's death was due to acute pulmonary failure due to hemorrhagic viral myocarditis and pneumonia. Following the results of additional testing carried out in Trinidad and Tobago, however, Dr. Alexandrov has revised his initial cause of death to undetermined. This was done due to the inconsistencies surrounding the manner of death, which he believes merits further investigation. Based on this, police have refocused their approach to Pemberton's death and have again appealed to the public to come forward with information which may be useful in helping them solve this case. Shaquille Pemberton, a former bellman at the Park Hyatt Hotel, was found dead in Gillard's Meadows on 27th January. When Pemberton's body was found, police said he had what appeared to be injuries to his chest. Since his discovery, members of Mr. Pemberton's family have expressed the opinion on social media that the circumstances surrounding his death were suspicious. Meanwhile, police are also investigating the circumstances which led to a Newtown man being stabbed as he slept in his home. The 52-year-old victim, identified as Trevor Mulrain, was in bed on January 4th when an unknown attacker entered his room and stabbed him in his bed. The Madhouse Alley man was rushed to the Joseph N. France General Hospital following the attack, where he was treated for his injuries. As authorities look into this strange attack, they're also asking persons who may be able to help the investigation to call the Bastille Police Station on 465-2241, the nearest police station, or Crime Stoppers at 1-800-8477. And in international developments this morning, a magnitude 6.4 earthquake has struck the east coast of Taiwan late Tuesday, killing at least 2 people and injuring more than 200. The quake brought down a hotel and several other buildings have been severely damaged. President Tsai Ing-wen said rescuers are searching for people still trapped under the rubble. Xiao Silva reports.
Working against the clock to search for survivors. Rescuers are using cranes to get to those trapped in what's left of Hualien's Marshall Hotel. When the earthquake struck just before midnight local time, the ground floor caved in, leaving the entire building slanting on its side.
There
are 2 people left inside. One is my older brother and another is his colleague. The rescuers are trying to dig further down to look for my brother. That's the situation for now.
Taiwan's President Tsai Ing-wen arrived in Hualien on Wednesday morning. Earlier on social media, she said teams from around the island will be helping with the search for survivors. Taiwan's fire agency reports that 5 more buildings, including a hospital, were also damaged, as were several roads leading to the city. This earthquake followed another one over the weekend off the coast of Hualien.
This earthquake today and the sequence for the last few days has been right in one of the hot spots on the northeast coast of Taiwan. So it's not a surprise. It's in an area where aftershocks are inevitable. The question is how many big aftershocks will there be? And our usual odds are 1 in 10 or 1 in 20 chance of a bigger earthquake. So they need to be prepared, at least for a few days, for more action.
The city lies along the Pacific Rim of Fire, known for regular seismic activity from Alaska to Southeast Asia.
And in sport this morning, a decision on whether 47 Russian athletes and coaches can take part in the Winter Olympics may not be made until Friday, the day the Games start. The Russians believe they have been wrongfully excluded from the Pyeongchang Olympics by the International Olympic Committee. They include 28 athletes who had their life bans lifted by the Court of Arbitration for Sport, CAS, last week. A CAS panel started hearing the appeals on Wednesday, but they have been adjourned until tomorrow. The panel's decisions are expected to be announced either late in the evening of February 8th or in the morning of February 9th, according to CAS. The Winter Olympics run from 9th to 25th February in South Korea, although some events start on February 8th, the day before the opening ceremony. The International Olympic Committee invited 169 Russians to compete as independent athletes in Pyeongchang after their country was banned from the Games. That ban followed an investigation into state-sponsored Russian doping at their home games in Sochi in 2014. The IOC also banned 43 Russians for life from the Olympics following further inquiry, but last week CAS overturned 28 athletes' suspensions and partially upheld 11 other appeals. 13 of those 28 and 2 coaches then asked to be allowed to compete in Pyeongchang but were turned down by the IOC. A special IOC panel agreed the decision of CAS had not lifted the suspicion of doping. And now for a look at the weather forecast. Over St. Kitts and Nevis, we can expect partly cloudy conditions with a few passing showers possibly developing. Tonight will be partly cloudy with a slight chance of a few passing showers. Seas are rough with swells of 2.4 to 3.4 meters or 8 to 11 feet. Warnings are in place for small craft operators and sea bathers. Winds are east-northeasterly to easterly at 14 to 21 miles per hour and reaching 25 to 27 miles per hour over coastal waters with higher gusts and showers. The sea level pressure is 1,019.2 millibars or 30.09 inches. The sun will rise tomorrow at 6:40 a.m. and set today at 6:09 p.m. Across the rest of the Eastern Caribbean, a surface high pressure in the Atlantic will continue to promote breezy conditions across the region for the next few days. Patches of low-level moisture embedded in the trade wind flow will continue to move across the area, producing brief passing showers across the islands. The combination of high winds and northerly swells will support hazardous sea conditions across the area. Skies over the Virgin Islands, Leeward Islands, and Windward Islands will be partly cloudy for today and tonight, with a chance of a few passing showers across the islands. Puerto Rico will be partly cloudy with a few passing showers today and tonight. And that wraps up this morning's news presentation. Before we go, a recap of the morning's top stories. Nationally, Shaquille Pemberton's cause of death has been revised to undetermined. Internationally, the search is on for survivors following a massive earthquake in Taiwan. And in sport, the Russian appeal against their Pyeongchang Olympic exclusion has been adjourned. Stay tuned. Up next, Carib Update.